Hi, my name is Rick Sanchez. I'm with a company called Tractor Tip Equipment, and what we have for sale here today is a Caterpillar. This is a 924G. The serial number of this machine is 9S like Sam, W like William, 0082. I'm going to leave that last digit blank. We're going to talk about the mechanics of this particular machine in the first clip, the operating specs in the second, and we'll run it in the third. We've got a bunch of loaders for sale and compaction equipment, some excavators, skid steers, and whatnot. We also have some small miscellaneous stuff like brooms and light towers and compressors. Point is, if you buy this machine from me or any of the other machines I have for sale, you're going to be dealing with a guy by the name of Pro Provencio. He's my right-hand man. He's running the camera right now. Like I say, in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the mechanics of this machine in the first clip, the operating specs in the second. We'll run it in the third. Price on a new loader like this these days is, I don't know, $175,000. They're pretty expensive. This machine currently has 5,103 hours showing on the service meter. Service meter's working. Of course, we don't guarantee hours ever, but the weight of this machine is 25,000 pounds. The widest point, if this bucket is off the machine, the widest point, the tires are 8 foot 2 inches wide. With the bucket, the widest point is 8 foot 6 inches wide, so it is technically a legal load. Highest point is the top of that cab at 10.5 feet. The transportation length from the front of that cutting edge to the rear of this counterweight right here is 23.5 feet. Comparable machines are like a Kawasaki 65Z, maybe a Komatsu WA250, or a John Deere 524, 621 case, an older L60, you get the idea. So as far as the history of this unit goes, this machine, like almost every machine we purchase, is an original owner Dallas, Texas machine. I say that because it has no rust. I mean, you'll see where, you know, right here, like on the rim where, you know, the paint's been scuffed off and the rainwater's gotten to it, but it in no way, shape, or form is rust pervasive. It's a Dallas, Texas machine, original owner. We're far enough south and we're 300 miles from the ocean, so the only salt we see is the salt on our kitchen tables. Just about every machine we purchase comes from one of about 30 different large contractors and municipalities here in the Metroplex. This particular loader comes from a company that we have done a ton of business with, a lot of business. They bought from us, we bought from them. We've sold to them, they've sold to us. So, and they've got an excellent maintenance program. Rivals some of the best I've seen. We've been happy with all of the machines that we've purchased from these guys, and it should be said that before I purchase any machine, I have two mechanics that go out and inspect it first. If they say everything's okay with the tractor, then Pro Provencio goes out and he inspects it. And if he says everything's okay with it, then I personally go out and inspect it if the money's right. So I go out and I check the machine out before I write a check. Of course, it's already been 3 and 4 times vetted by the time I get to it, so it's usually a good machine by the time I get it. So as far as options go, this machine is an enclosed cab. It does have an air conditioner. It's got a couple of these outlets here, but I'm not sure if they're 12 volt. I don't know why these manufacturers don't designate them as 12 volt. This is a 24 volt system, so before you plug your iPhone into that, dude, you better check and make sure. It's got a quick coupler on it. Now this machine, we are selling this machine just with a bucket. If you want a set of forks, which we have over there, we'll show you in a minute. That will be extra. As with all loaders, this machine is inherently a four-wheel drive machine. I don't know if that's an option, but it's worth noting. This loader has got a battery disconnect switch. Oh, right here. So the tractor's going to be sitting for any length of time, you know, you can cut it off. All these machines these days have a slow battery drain for all the electronics. It's also got a hydraulic fan. You say, well, what's good as a hydraulic fan? Well, here's proof's in the pudding right here. You can swing this fan away from the engine. It's remotely located, so you can get your oil cooler, all your coolers, your radiator. You can get to everything right here. So you can blow these things out and keep them clean and keep your machine cool, which is pretty important here in Texas. Another option this machine's got is, I don't know if you can see that, maybe from that angle, Pro, you can, because the sun's gonna get them off, or mess up the video. Can you see it, Pro, from there? It's got a remote transmission control in the cab.
Yeah, I got it.
It's also got parallel lift capability. So what is a parallel lift? So if you're loading, if you got the forks on the machine, and a bucket, because of the Z-bar linkage, has got a natural roll to the bucket whenever you're lifting it. And this machine is set up so you can set a button. So like if you're loading pallets of material all day long, or pipe or whatever, you don't have that roll on the bucket. It just acts like a forklift. It stays parallel to the ground. So that's got this. I think this has got ride control too. I need to check that. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it's got ride control. As far as the engine goes, this engine is this is a Cat 3056E. It's 130 net horsepower, 138 gross. Here's your fuel tank here. It's kind of dusty, but that fuel tank is 59.5 gallons. So you can see these coolers have got hinges on them, so you can kind of get back behind. That's a very, very good thing to have. So anyway, the engine's a 3056E, 138 gross horsepower, 130 net, 59.5 gallon fuel tank, which will run you 12 to as many as 16 hours of operation, depending on your application. All of the fluid levels on this tractor are where they should be. There's absolutely no leaks on it. Everything works. It's mechanically sound. Transmission runs through all the gears without hesitation. Brakes stop it on a dime. Top speed on this machine is 24 miles an hour forward, 13 in reverse. Again, it's a four-wheel drive machine. These tires are probably about 65%. There's no cuts on them. They're 20.5 25s. All of the hydraulics are strong on this tractor. There's no cracks or welds anywhere in the work equipment. Pro, show them kind of up close there on both sides. Come back over here. We gotta shorten up this video a little bit. Pro's had a long day. He's been at it for 12 hours, so he's not in a hurry for anything right now. So the hydraulics are strong. There's no cracks or welds in any of the work equipment. All of the pins and the bushings are relatively tight. There's no deflection or any kind of problem in that turntable area. Those two kingpin right there that hold the front and the rear of the machine together. This cutting edge here is about 95% in the front. It has been turned, so the other side is worn. Just saying. This loader bucket again is 8 foot 6 inches wide. It's 4 foot 2 inches tall, and it's 3 foot 8 inches deep. This is a larger capacity, the largest capacity bucket that you can put on this wheel loader. It says right here it's a 2.8 yard loader, and that measurement may actually be a struck measurement. In other words, a struck measurement is kind of like if you have like when your mom was baking and she got a thing of flour and she gets a table knife and cuts it off. That's called a struck measurement. A heap measurement is whenever it's heaped over. So anyway, it says right here this is a 2.8 yard bucket, and I'm not sure if this is a big bucket, so it may be a heap measurement is all I'm saying. I'm not saying that for sure. It's just a big bucket. It's at least a 2.8 yard bucket. Let me put it that way. This hinge pin right here, the highest hinge pin if you were loading into a dumpster is 13 feet. The breakout force of this loader is 21,806 pounds. The static tip load of this loader with the bucket, so the static tip load, the lifting capacity of this loader is limited by a static tip load, and I'm going to define that. The static tip load is the hydraulics of this machine are so strong that the machine will actually tip forward before the hydraulics give out. So your tip load, your lifting capacity is actually limited to the weight of this machine opposite the fulcrum of this front axle. So like I say, it's 18,267 pounds with a bucket, and with a fork, for some reason, I don't understand this, it's actually less. It's 13,688 pounds. So we're gonna walk over here and show you the forks. Again, these forks are, we'll show Uncle Pro putting them on, taking them off here in a little bit, but these forks are, they're 48-inch tines. This, it's got a 5-foot carriage, it's 5 foot across. The heel of that is 2 inches thick, so they're heavy duty forks. I think that's about it. What else, bro?
I think you got it covered.
All right, we're gonna run it in the next clip. Bucket right there. Okay, go ahead and close it. Open it. This is the bucket and the forks. Now we're just selling it with the bucket. The forks are extra. Okay, go ahead and drop them.
Good running loader.
Made a lot of money. Alright, so this is the inside of the cab here. I guess that's your filter for your cab. There's your lights, starting aid, transmission neutralizer, override, windshield wipers, all the gauges work. There's your coupler, quick coupler disconnect. There's your AC, defrost, bucket, kick out, auto shift, air conditioner controls. You clear, Pro? I'm gonna start it.
Go ahead.
Your AC. It's blowing cold, but not real cold. Probably needs to be charged. There's a 12 volt. I take that back. I don't want to say that's 12 volt because I don't know. But all of the gauges work. There's your e-brake. There's your remote transmission control. I think I said that. There's for your radio.